Welcome into the Cleveland Browns Report, a show that has a new defensive coordinator. That's right, Jim Schwartz has been hired by the Browns to be the next DC. Mary Kay tweeting out this morning that the Browns are hiring Jim Schwartz. And it's a little interesting because yesterday the rumor mill was Sean Desai was for the job, and then Brian Flores was the favorite, and now it is Jim Schwartz. Maybe some smoke screens going on from Berea, but Jim Schwartz is in as the next DC. So on today's show, we're going to break down Jim Schwartz, right? Get to know him and what you can expect from the Browns defense under Schwartz in 2023. But right off the bat, I want to know, what is your grade for this hiring? A, B, C, D, or F? I'm going to go with a solid B+. I don't think I can give an absolute A grade just because I don't think anyone out there is an absolute A home run, no doubter. Jim Schwartz is a great defensive mind. He's had a lot of great defenses, but he's also had some down times here and there. So I'm not going to be an absolute sheep and say it's an A+, but I think a B+ is a pretty healthy grade. Let me know your grade down below. And remember, it should be pretty high because it's an improvement from Joe Woods. I know that there's a lot of people out there that wanted Brian Flores, and I understand. I was excited for the idea of hiring Flores too, but I still think Schwartz is a fantastic hire. I like the hire, okay? I think this brings much needed leadership to this defense, which it desperately needed. And that's kind of sad to say out loud because you would hope that your NFL locker room with 53 grown men and coaches doesn't need leadership, but there were points where I sort of questioned the leadership on this defense, right? Why is Perrion Winfrey, a rookie, constantly getting into mishaps early on? Myles Garrett is sleeping or missing through practices. You've got John Johnson taking plays off, it appears, on defense, and he's not the only one. So this defense needs someone to come in and sort of get everyone in line. And Jim Schwartz, I mean, just ask Jim Harbaugh. He'll give you one hell of a handshake, and he will make sure that you fall in line. Also, just going to put this out there. I'm going to say the quiet part out loud. He could be a good interim head coach next year. Hopefully we don't get to that point, but you do have that option with Jim Schwartz. I like his defense. I love his experience, and I'm going to love the leadership he's going to come into Cleveland with and not tolerate any sort of nonsense. Now, Jim Schwartz's career, in case you're not familiar with him, he's been with the Titans the last 2 years as a senior defensive analyst. It's almost like a half-retired job, comes in and gives us two thoughts. And the Titans defense, I'll tell you this much, was really good against what? The run this past season. And that's exactly what Browns fans are looking for in their next DC. Before that, he was the Eagles defensive coordinator, helped them win a Super Bowl in 2017. He spent a year as the Bills DC in 2014. Of course, I think most notably the Lions head coach from 2009 to 2013. Sort of got them at least more relevant than the Lions really have ever been. And then a long-time DC with the Tennessee Titans. So I'm not going to do the math right there. 7, 8, something like 13 years as a defensive coordinator in the NFL. He's got the experience. Unlike Joe Woods, who, hey, there's always going to be a first time for everything. But his first time as a DC ultimately looked like he was in over his head. So we've got more to learn on Schwartz and what you can expect from the Browns defense. But I was walking my dog this morning when I got the Twitter noti from Mary Kay, and I turned that dog walk around immediately. So my dog's right now home, probably dying to go to the bathroom, so I got to go hire a dog sitter to come in. But that's the Browns Report difference, all right? So if that's the kind of content you're looking for, make sure to subscribe. Hit that big red button, because when breaking news happens, dog walks get cut short. We get into the studio with my producer, Jack Lauderay, and we bang out a video. So, Jim Schwartz's defense, it's going to be a 4-3 front, most likely. That's what he does. A lot of 9 wide as well, which benefits pass rushers like Myles Garrett. Heavy in man coverage, which is way different than what we saw under 3 years of Joe Woods' defense, which relied on a lot of zone defense, which I'm going to be excited to watch for. Denzel Ward was a top pick, not to sit in the zone. No, he was a top pick to get up to his man and play man-to-man. Same for Greg Newsome, same for Martin Emerson. So you're going to see a lot more man, and I'm going to explain why, but the pass rushers will flourish under Jim Schwartz, which Myles Garrett has already been putting up double-digit sack seasons, 16-plus in 2 straight years. it's going to get better under Jim Schwartz. Now, Jim Schwartz was an excellent hire by the Browns, in my opinion. And if you want to make an excellent hire for your small business, well, make sure you check out LinkedIn Talent Solutions, okay? These days, every new potential hire can feel like a high-stakes wager for your small business. You want to be 100% certain that you have access to the best qualified candidates available. And that's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the right people for your team faster and for free. Here at Chat Sports, we have been growing like crazy, and in part due to LinkedIn getting the best possible guys and girls here inside the walls of Chat Sports. So when you add your job and the purple hashtag hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile, it'll spread the word that you are hiring. With simple tools like screening questions, well, it's going to make it easier to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/NFL Daily. That's linkedin.com/NFL Daily. Get your free job posting up there to get the right defensive coordinator for your team, the Cleveland Browns. I've got that link for you all in the comments and the description of today's video. So what's next, right? What can we expect in 2023 for Jim Schwartz? I think you can expect this offseason to prioritize defensive tackles. This is going to be a staple of a successful Jim Schwartz defense. He likes to work within and then build outward. So if that's the case, I'm expecting Andrew Berry to be pretty active in free agency or in the draft. I don't see why Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski would come to an agreement on, let's hire Jim Schwartz, but let's not give him the tools to be successful, right? They know what makes Jim Schwartz work well, and that's having good interior defensive linemen. So it would be a major backwards thinking to hire a guy who needs good DTs and then not give him those resources. The 2023 free agent class for defensive tackles has some pretty notable names. It's got Daron Payne, the Washington Commanders defensive tackle, Daron Payne, and then the former first-round pick out of Alabama for Washington, Daron Payne. Go get Daron Payne, please, right? That's the message here. I like Shy Tuttle, too. Go Vols. Teair Tart had a really good season for the Titans this year. He also worked with Jim Schwartz the last 2 years, so maybe that's sort of him bringing one of his old guys from Tennessee to his new spot in Cleveland. But I love to see Daron Payne line up next to Myles Garrett in front of Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah under the supervision of Denzel Ward and Grant Delpit and Martin Emerson and Greg Newsome. Now, Jim Schwartz has a knack for bringing out the best in his pass rushers. Jim Schwartz, as a head coach or a defensive coordinator, has gotten these guys to their career high in sacks. And Ndamukong Suh, 10 sacks, a career high in 2010 in Detroit. Marcel Darius, former first-round pick out of Alabama. I wonder who else is a former first-round pick out of Alabama in free agency. Daron Payne, 10 sacks in 2014. Mario Williams, some thought he was washed up. Jim Schwartz saw 14.5 sacks with him. And then Fletcher Cox, an interior defensive lineman, popped off for 10.5 sacks. All career highs, all under Jim Schwartz. Now, when you look at the Browns' 2023 defensive line depth chart, there's going to be some names to be added to it, right? This is not going to be the final grouping right here going into training camp. But I don't think Jordan Elliott and Perion Winfrey is going to cut it for what Jim Schwartz wants to do on defense. So I'm expecting a combination of Winfrey, a draft pick, free agent signing, and a battle between Elliott and Togiai for your 4 interior defensive tackle spots. Myles Garrett, and then probably a committee of either Alex Wright, Isaiah Thomas, some free agent, maybe a draft pick. I don't think they're going to go for home runs at defensive tackle and defensive end. And under Jim Schwartz, if they had to pick one, my guess is they're going to lean defensive tackle. So that is the news. Jim Schwartz in as the next Browns DC. I'm going to part ways with you guys with just this thought here. I know some people wanted Brian Flores. This is still a very good hire, right? The goal was to improve from Joe Woods. They have done that. Jim Schwartz is absolutely an improvement. I'm excited to see him come in August in Berea during training camp and really get these guys moving, and hopefully a Browns defense in 2023 that was we all waited for in 2022, but was one of the biggest frauds, that defense, only behind the Minnesota Vikings.